Hello everyone, welcome to the class of Complex Analysis, Probability and Statistical Methods, 18 MAT 41. Today I'll be discussing a topic in sampling theory, and the topic that I'm going to discuss is test of significance for single mean. Myself, Dr. Madhura, Assistant Professor, Department of Mathematics, Sai Vidya Institute of Technology, Bengaluru. Now, we will discuss the formula for test of significance for single mean. The standard normal variate SNV is given by Z is equal to x bar minus mu the whole divided by sigma divided by root of n, which can be written as x bar minus mu divided by sigma into root n, where n is the sample size, sigma is the standard deviation of the population, x bar is the mean of the sample, and mu is the mean of the population. We have two mean involved here. One is with respect to the population, the other one is with respect to the sample. Sometimes sigma will not be known to us from the given data. In such case, standard normal variate can be used the formula Z is equal to x bar minus mu divided by S into square root of n. Instead of sigma, we can use S, where S is the standard deviation of the sample. Note, this Z is to test whether the difference between the sample mean x bar and the population mean mu is significant or not. So this Z test is applicable to the problems where we want to know difference between the sample mean x bar and the population mean mu, whether the difference is significant or not. Now 95% confidence limits are obtained by the formula x bar minus 1.96 into sigma divided by root n is less than mu less than x bar plus 1.96 into sigma by root n. Means the mean of the population mu lies between x bar plus or minus 1.96 into sigma divided by root n. Similarly, 99% confidence limits are obtained by the formula mu lying between x bar plus or minus 2.58 into sigma divided by root n. With respect to 1% level of significance, the value of Z will be 2.58. With respect to 5% level of significance, the value of Z will be 1.96. So these formulae will help us to do the problems now. Now let us discuss the problems. It has been found that the mean breaking strength of a particular brand of thread is 275.6 grams with standard deviation sigma equal to 39.7 grams. A sample of 36 pieces of thread showed a mean breaking strength of 253.2 grams. We need to test the claim at 1% and 5% level of significance. So the data is something like this. The mean of the sample as well as the mean of the population would have been given for us. We need to check which are those values from the given data. So the mean of a particular brand is 275.6. So this is mean of the population. For the overall population, mean is 275.6. When we collect a sample of 36 pieces, so n equal to 36, the mean breaking strength was 253.2 grams. So this is mean of the sample denoted by x bar. So mean of the sample x bar is 253.2 and mean of the population is 275.6. Sigma is 39.7 and we are collecting a sample of n equal to 36. So with all these data, we can apply for the large samples. Z is equal to x bar minus mu divided by sigma into root n. And obtain the Z value, check whether the claim at 1% and 5% level of significances are accepted or rejected. So let us first write down from the data. So by data we have mean of the population mu equal to 275.6 and sigma is equal to 39.7. We are collecting a sample of 36 pieces. So n is equal to 36 and for that the mean is denoted by x bar. Mean of the sample is denoted by x bar, so which is 253.2. So thus we can substitute in the Z formula given by x bar minus mu the whole divided by sigma into root n. Substituting all the known values, it is 253.2 minus 275.6 the whole divided by 39.7 and this answer is multiplied with root 36. So Z on simplification gives us 3.39. We actually get a negative value. We will take modulus of Z value. So we have mod Z is equal to 3.39 and this value is greater than both the levels of significances. So Z 0.01 is 2.58 and Z 0.05 at 5% level of significance it is 1.96. So 3.39 is a value which is greater than both the levels of significance. So the test is rejected at both the levels of significance will be the conclusion. Thus, the test is rejected at both levels of significance. So this was the first problem for us where we are considering huge samples of a when it is given sample of a single mean. So this is test of significance for single mean what we are checking with. We'll see the next problem now. A sugar factory is expected to sell sugar in 100 kg bags. A sample of 144 bags taken from a day's output shows the average and the standard deviation of weights of bags as 99 and 4 kg respectively. So when we collect a sample of 144 bags, for that the average or the mean is 99 and the standard deviation is 4. So question is, can we conclude that the factory is working as per standards? And we need to evaluate the Z test or the Z value at 5% level of significance. So a sugar factory is expected to sell sugar in 100 kg bags. So mean of the population, that is mu, equal to 100. Then we have n equal to 144. We are collecting a sample of 144 bags. So n is equal to 144. And standard deviation of weights of these bags are average, mean and the standard deviation are respectively 99 and 4 kg. So mean equal to 99, mean of the sample is equal to 99 and standard deviation of the sample, that is S is given for us, sigma is not given. So S is equal to 4. So with these values, we need to estimate whether the factory is working as per standards. So let us see the solution now. So by data, we will write down what and all are known to us along with the notations. So mu equal to 100, n equal to 144, then the average of the sample, that is x bar, mean of the sample is 99, and then standard deviation of the sample S is given for us, which is 4. So with all these values, Z can be evaluated using the formula x bar minus mu, the whole divided by S into square root of n. So x bar is 99 minus 100, the whole divided by S is 4 multiplied by square root of 144. So evaluating the Z value, since we get a negative value, I will consider modulus of Z, and this value is equal to 3. So mod Z is equal to 3. The calculated value is greater than the table value, that is Z at 0.05 is 1.96. Calculated value is 3. Table value is Z 0.05, which is 1.96. So since the calculated value is greater than the table value, we reject the hypothesis. So here the hypothesis can be easily assumed as the factory is working as per the standards. So now we conclude that the factory is not working as per standards. So thus the factory is not working as per standards. So this was a second problem for us, wherein the average of the population as well as the sample was given, and the mean and the standard deviation of the sample was mentioned, that is S was mentioned for us. We shall now discuss the third problem. It is given that the mean lifetime of a sample of 100 tube lights manufactured by a company is found to be 1570 hours with a standard deviation of 120 hours. So we are collecting a sample of 100 tube lights manufactured by a company. So n is equal to 100. For that sample, the mean lifetime is 1570 hours. And the standard deviation S is equal to 120. So n is equal to 50 is given for us. The mean lifetime, that is denoted by x bar. X bar stands for mean of the sample. So we collected a sample of 100 tube lights, no? So for that we are writing down the mean. So the mean lifetime of the 100 tube lights is 1570 hours. So x bar is equal to 1570. And then standard deviation is 120. So sigma is equal to 120. And the mean lifetime of the, it is S actually, sigma is not given. So S is equal to 120 is given for us. We need to test the hypothesis that the mean lifetime of the lights produced by the company is 1600 hours. And we need to test this hypothesis at 1% level of significance. So while testing the hypothesis, we should assume that mean mu is equal to 1600. Mean mu stands for mean of the population. So let us analyze and write down the given data and solve the problem with the help of formula for Z. So by data, n is equal to 100. N is given as 100. For this sample n equal to 100, mean x bar is equal to 1570 and standard deviation S is equal to 120. So for that sample, the standard deviation is given, so we denote it by S. So S is 120, and it is to be assumed that the mean mu of the hypothesis, mean of the population, should be 1600. Making this assumption that mu equal to 1600, we need to check whether this hypothesis is accepted or rejected at 1% level of significance. So therefore Z is equal to x bar minus mu the whole divided by s into square root of n. It is 1570 minus 1600 the whole divided by 120 multiplied by square root of 100. So simplifying this, we get z as a negative value. So we take modulus of z for comparison purpose so that we can easily compare with the standard value at table value at 1% level of significance. So mod z is equal to 2.5 we are getting, and this is a value less than z 0.01, which is 2.58. So 1% level of significance we were asked to compare with. So at 1% level of significance, Z 0.01 is 2.58. 2.5 is a lesser value. So the hypothesis that the mean life of the lights produced by the company being 1600 hours is accepted at 1% level of significance. Therefore, the hypothesis is accepted at 1% level of significance. So what is the hypothesis? It was directly mentioned in the question for us. The hypothesis was to assume that the mean lifetime of the lights produced by a company is 1600 hours. We'll see the fourth question now. A sample of 100 tires is taken from a lot. The mean life of tires is found to be 39,350 kilometer with a standard deviation of 3,260. Can it be considered as a true random sample from a population with mean life of 40,000 kilometers? We need to use 0.05 log, that is at 5% level of significance. Also, establish 99% confidence limits within which the mean life of tires expected to lie. So not only finding the Z value, we also have to obtain the confidence limits at 1% level of significance. So analyzing the data, we have the sample size n is equal to 100 and the mean life of tires for that particular sample is found to be 39,350 kilometers. So x bar is equal to 39,350 and standard deviation is 3260, 3260. So S is given for us. S is equal to 3260. Now we need to check, assuming the hypothesis that the population mean is equal to 40,000 kilometers. So H naught is assumed as mean of the population to be equal to 40,000 kilometers. And the Z calculated value should be compared with Z at 0.05. That is, at 5% level of significance, we have to compare the value of Z and conclude whether it can be considered as a true random sample from a population with mean life of 40,000 kilometers or not. So let us do the solution now. So by data, we have n equal to 100, x bar, that is the mean of the sample, is 39,350 and standard deviation S of the sample is 3,260. So we are assuming the mean mu is equal to 40,000 kilometers in the hypothesis and performing Z test. So mu is given as 40,000. So therefore, Z is equal to x bar minus mu, the whole divided by S into square root of n. That is 39,350 minus mu value is 40,000, the whole divided by S is 3260 into square root of 100. So let us perform this using a calculator. We can obtain. We are getting a negative answer. So we take modulus of Z and perform the value. So mod Z is equal to 1.99, and this is obviously greater than Z at 0.05, which is equal to 1.96. At 5% level of significance, the table value of Z is 1.96. So we are comparing the calculated value with the table value. So the calculated value is 1.99, which is greater than the table value at 5% level of significance. So thus, it cannot be considered as a true random sample from a population of mu equal to 40,000 kilometers. Means we are actually rejecting the hypothesis. The hypothesis was mentioned in the question as we need to assume that considering a true random sample from the given population of mean life is 40,000 kilometers. So this hypothesis is being now rejected. It is one and the same as writing it cannot be considered. It cannot be considered as a true random sample from a population with mean life of 40,000 kilometers. So this was the first part of the problem where we need to either accept the hypothesis or reject the hypothesis. Now the second part of the problem is to establish 99% confidence limits within which the mean life of the tire is expected to lie. So mu lies between the confidence limits formula says x bar plus or minus 2.58 into sigma divided by root n. Now since sigma is not known, we will write it down as s divided by root n only. So we'll just find out the confidence limits now. 99% confidence limits. 99% confidence limits are given by mu lying between x bar minus 2.58 into s divided by root n and x bar plus 2.58 into s divided by root n. So substituting all the known things for us, this gives us 39,350 minus 2.58 into s. S is 3260, standard deviation of the sample, divided by root 100, less than mu, less than 39,350 plus 2.58 into 3260 divided by root 100. So mu lies between 38,509, we can round it off to the nearest integer, and 40,191. The confidence limits, 99% confidence limits are 38,509 to 40,191. Thus, mu is expected to lie between 38,509 40, 191. This is 99% confidence limits for us. Now we'll discuss one last problem. The mean and standard deviation of marks scored by a sample of 100 students. So sample size is 100. Mean and standard deviation of the sample are respectively 67.45 and 2.92. We need to obtain the confidence intervals at 5% level of significance and 1% level of significance. So we are asked to find 95% and 99% confidence intervals for estimating the mean marks of the student population. So we are asked to find only the confidence intervals. So by data, we have n equal to 100 and mean, that is x bar is given for us 67.45 and standard deviation S of the sample is 2.92. 2.92. The first part of the problem is to find 95% confidence intervals. 95% confidence intervals are x bar minus 1.96 into S divided by square root of n. And this is less than mu, means mu is lying between these, x bar plus 1.96 into S divided by square root of n. So let us substitute x bar, S and n, 67.45 minus 1.96 into 2.92 divided by square root of 100 is 10. And similarly 67.45 plus 1.96 into 2.92 divided by 10. So mu lies between minus and plus. X bar minus plus or minus 1.96 into S by square root of n. Now evaluating this, we can obtain where does the mu lie. In this case, that is on 95% confidence limits. So this implies for us 66.88 less than mu less than 68.02. So in this case, mu lies between 66.88 to 68.02. So this was 95% confidence limits for us. Now the second part of the problem is to find 99% confidence intervals. And they are given by x bar minus 2.58 into S divided by root n less than mu less than x bar plus 2.58 into S divided by root n. So x bar plus or minus 2.58 into S divided by root n. That's the formula in general. So let us substitute x bar, S and n. So this is 67.45 minus 2.58 into S. S is 2.92 divided by square root of 100 is 10 less than mu less than 67.45 with a plus sign we have to perform now. 2.58 into 2.92 divided by 10. So in this case, mu lies between 66.70 to 68.20. So therefore, mu lies between 66.70 to 68.20. So these are the confidence intervals at 95% level of 95% confidence intervals or 5% level of significance and 1% level of significance. So hope these problems on Z-test, that is test of significance for single mean, these problems are understandable. Thank you for watching.